Much, sir. It is our pleasure in handling the session. We have got so many faculties here. We have got good students here. So thank you everyone for joining. So we'll just start the session. 1 second, I'm just sharing my screen. Indu ma'am, you have something to tell, or I'll start with the session?
You can start the session, Mr. Gokul.
Yeah, thank you, madam. So very good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all safe and you're all staying in home. So I'm Gokul. I'm on behalf of VLAN's Best Hub. So today we are going to see on retail management. So this will be part of your curriculum by default. So I'm also an MBA student. So this was actually part of my curriculum. And for sure, retail marketing, even if you are from different disciplines, even if you're not practicing any of these retail marketing in your college, you will experience it in your day-to-day life. We do retailing, either we'll be a customer, consumer, or we'll be a product seller. Somewhere or other will be related to this. So as sir said, we are in a digital era, and e-retailing or e-marketing or something on the online e-commerce, it's all trending now. So we'll quickly see what is retail management, where are we, what Indian market is actually looking for, because the other markets, say like US market or in Russian market or an European market, it's all almost they are halfway ahead of us. So they are almost well in advance in the technologies. They have tied up with so many different vendors for so many different things. So we'll see on Indian context. You as a student here, I have one particular slide where I want all your interactions, your points, so that will make the session interesting. So any questions and clarifications, please do post on the chat window. At the end, I'll try to address all the questions. So we'll start. So what is retail management? We'll start from the base, and many of you will know this person, Kotler, and many of our institutions follow the books by Kotler and principles by Kotler. So he is the father of modern marketing. So according to him, so any non-business use selling of goods directly to a final customer or a person for non-business use, you call it retailing. Again, business uses, I am giving it to you and you are selling it to someone, it's not retail. You are using it for your own self, that is retail. So the retail is a final place where it happens. It's not in the first or in the middle. So every sale of goods, services to a final customer, this includes food, apparel, even your movie tickets that you purchase, e-ticket, your haircuts, everything that comes under retail sector. So retail as a sector or as a whole, if you're seeing the holistic picture, it has food industry inside it. It has a normal entertainment sector like movies inside it. It has so many things inside them. So it's all as together, put together as retail. So this, I would also like you to see it as a whole and not as just a FMCG goods or a departmental store selling you something out. It means everything that is being sold for an end user. Even a software, if you're selling, even if you're paying 1 rupee as a final customer for something, it's retail. So we'll see all in those aspects. So a derivation like French word retailer, it is a cutting of pieces or breaking of bulk into small pieces or small sectors. So a retailer job is actually that. So they break the whole into very small pieces and distribute it accordingly. So that is the actual thing that retail is actually doing, and it is from a French word. So this is the last stage. So as I told you, this is the last stage of the handling. So some of the interesting facts before we move on to this, why this topic, why should I know this? So these facts will amuse you, and you will know the reason for knowing this topic. India is the third largest market in Asia. So India, though the population, irrespective of population, geography, expansion and all those, leaving all that, taking market as such, India ranks 3. 8% of our total Indian employment opportunities that comes from the retail industry as a whole. 25% approximate value, it's 25% of our GDP comes from retail sector. And in Asia, if you're taking the top 200 company list, 25 of them are from retail background. And there is something called Fortune 500, a list that is given out by US. Forbes usually gives out, and there are like many other companies that tells you the Fortune 500 companies. So in the list among the Fortune 500, 50 plus giant retailers are there, and Walmart ranks number 1. Food is the largest contributor for this particular industry, and second is your clothing and apparel or fashion products that we use on our day-to-day life. In India, 2 million shops are there, kirana shops or mom and pop stores. The stores that you see in your area, that you see in your neighborhood, in your street, a very small shop, we call Anachi Kada, Pakathula irukra Maliga Kada, chinna shops. The very small one that we see in our areas is 2 million. So imagine the retail things that we have. Why is so much of growth in this particular industry as such? One, the population. As the population grows, the demand grows, the need grows, the usage grows. So by default, when we are growing, we are in need of products. So this industry, a percentage of this industry is grown on behalf of the population. Income. So in those days it was different, and now it is different. There are few mandatory things. Those days, a film in an year, dress on an festive, say Diwali, Ramzan, Christmas, was something very big. But today the income or the standard that we are living and the flow that we are making, new dress, you don't mind, you go to a shop, you take it, irrespective of festivals, irrespective of any special things. I'm going for an IV, I want a new dress, I want a new tea, I want a new scarf, I want new that. So everything, we are doing something, we want something very new on that time, because like we have a good income now compared to the olden days. Supply and demand, again, initially we had so much of demands, but the supply, it started growing high. When your supply is high, they tend to reduce the price. So many of you would have studied this, the supply demand curve, where if demand is high and supply is less, that is also a problem. When supply is more and demand is less, that is also a problem. So problem for two different sides, and problem for us. When supply and demand is almost equal, that is also a big problem, where people, they start storing it in their places. So many things happen with supply and demand. So supply and demand also plays a major role in reason for the growth of the industry. Discounts, super sales and offers, we are bound to it. Irrespective of our position, irrespective of our designation, work, college, education, whatever we are doing, we are bound to it. 10% discount, 5% discount, immediately we tend to buy. 20% discount, 30% discount, even if we don't have money, we buy it in credit card, EMIs, we get it from people, and then we do it. So these offers are again a reason, and this is one of their strategies. So when it comes on the marketing side, it is one of their strategies to pull in customers. So by giving out, if I'm saying 1+1 offer, the cost is bared for 2 products. Everyone offers knew it. But still, if it's 1+1, we see it on the board, we go buy the product. We don't even think whether we are in need of that product or not. So there, we don't think of our demand. We just buy the product without even considering our income factor. We buy it in credit. Globalization is one other major factor, because like I see something on US is very cheap, I can get it here, I'm buying it. It's a social status. We started comparing a normal retail product as a social status here. So the more and more we started buying things from other sources, the import export things, again, that is a different part of our MBA, but still import and export, they started growing like anything. That is the reason like retail industry started a very huge growth in every market. So when globalizations happen, when demand and supply is there, when people go behind the offers, when the population is more, I have very good income. What happened? They call in for FDIs. So other countries, they invest on us. Other countries, they open office on our own market. They open branches. They sell it online here. They have online superstores, offer stores, so many things they have, and they started doing it. Social media, or the media like paper, TV, ads, the Facebook, Instagram, so everything is again a reason for us to buy something. For example, the current, it is again a different strategy, different technology, but say you go to Amazon app in your mobile, look for a mobile phone or an laptop. You don't buy it. Just look for 2-3 features, 2-3 different varieties. Go back to your Facebook. You will have an offer popping up there. Hey, buy this. You will have an announcement there telling this is lesser here, this is lesser there, and like they tempt to they force you in an indirect way to buy it by throwing you some ads related to that, relevant ads, relevant post that involves with that. So the social media, again, they play an important role. What happens, like 5 times, 10 times, 12 times you see the same thing, you tend to buy. The mindset of a person tends to change there. Immediately when it is getting changed, we tend to buy. So social media is also a reason for the growth of the industry. Buy now, pay later, EMI concept. So the moment I have EMI, I can buy anything, I can pay later, I can just give an advance installment, the first installment, I can give it in 10, I can give it in 11. So this again, like in appliances that we buy for our home, the automobiles we buy for our home, even the home housing loans, EMI, so many things. These are some of the major reason, directly or indirectly, reason for the growth of this particular industry. So this industry as a holistic, the reason for growth are these. From where it has evolved, where is this retail evolved from where are we are like this now? From barter system, which we initially had. So till that, be happy and satisfied with whatever you have. If you don't have something, you don't go for it, you don't opt for it. That is how the mindset were. Then it was the barter system. I have so much of this item, I'll give you that. In exchange, give me X of your item, which I am in need of. So that was the initial exchange that happened, the transactions for goods and services. It was not for money, it was for products. So the barter system till the mobile commerce, or you have digitally everything on your hands now. So from there to here, we'll see what all growth we have seen. The first is the weekly market, Hats and Mandis. So in initial days, if you see, like this was the one source where people, they sell their goods and they buy their goods. So every weekly market will be there. Sunday, again, like there are few places still existing where you find those weekly markets, and there are many places that changed the weekly market into permanent stores. Melas are still happening. So we have heard in Tamil Nadu, like they are very famous for cows, dogs. There are like very famous things again happening now. Still, it's continuing. Mandis, like where people go buy things and all this, it's in very few areas it is still in existence. So this was the initial phase after our barter system. So after our barter system, people thought we'll start selling these items on a weekly basis on particular melas. So people were on that thought and that progress. So that was the first progress that we have got in the retail industry. Then it was our small stores that we see on our day-to-day life today. So these are very earlier and advanced shops. So maybe the shop in your area next to your house is very new, but the system or the concept or their working principles are very old, and from there people are using these shops. So what these shopkeepers did, they are very well to do. They started buying, storing it in their places, and then give it. So here they did not have any warehouses. They used to store it in their own house or own shop or own place, and from there people were selling it. So on the top, the first place, the melas or a weekly market, they don't store anything. No inventory, zero inventory there. People bring in, they sell, they move. So it will be again an empty ground there. Nothing will be left it off there. In Kirana stores, few storage, inventory was there in their own places. Then our country has introduced, so since it's an Indian context, we have introduced the public distribution system, or the ration that we are again buying in our day-to-day life. So this is again a proof. Now it's one of the mandatory things that every one of us is having it right now. So this government started because people were not able to afford in the Kirana shops. Though Kirana shops had everything, people were not able to buy things from there. So there were so much of poverty. People were dying because they don't have things. No barter system was there in existence. So then came this public distribution system. Then it was small stores on town region where they clubbed, they kept it as a street. You have it as a town region where people fly from villages to the center spot, they buy things. Khadi, cooperative societies. So these were the evaluation that we have got. After that, the things that we are seeing now or experiencing now, the departmental store or super specialty store, hypermarkets. So all these are the next stage of growth we had. Finally, the malls, shopping malls that we are seeing now, discount stores like Brand Factory, where you get discounts around the clock, 365 days. The automatic vending machines in few places, like few important malls you have, in railway stations you have. So all those were again a development. Finally, it's all in your mobile now. It is e-commerce or online shopping. So where is the role of a retailer here in all these things? Retailer is the person who sorts all these things or all happening things. They purchase from multiple wholesalers. The wholesalers, they don't sell it for public or end consumer. They were selling it only to the retailer in bulk, and they distribute to us on an loose basis. Like they buy it in a bulk, say 100, 200, 300. They give it to us like 1, 2, 3, how much ever you want. So you cannot go to a wholesaler and ask for 1 or 2, because wholesaler deals it in bulk. From where the wholesaler was getting, from the manufacturer or from a super dealer or super wholesaler, again where from they were getting, it's all from the manufacturer. So a manufacturer directly gives it to a wholesaler through distribution channel. Wholesaler sends it to the retailer for business, and the retailer, they sell it to consumers. That is we, the common people. You go to a shop, you go buy, you go get things. So you don't even know who is the manufacturer. You don't know where is the manufacturing unit, and you don't get anything in the manufacturing unit. For example, our toothpaste. Every day morning we use toothpaste. Do you get it from your manufacturer? Okay, someone is unmuted. Like you have any questions? It's echoing for me. Like it would be great if you're going on mute. Okay, so everyday morning, the toothpaste, we don't buy it from the manufacturer like Colgate, Pepsodent, we don't go to those factories and buy. We buy it from the nearby retailer shop. And retailer, again, he doesn't go to the manufacturer, he goes to a wholesaler in the market and they buy it. A wholesaler doesn't go to the manufacturer, they maybe they get it from a distributor of the district or the state. From there, they are doing. So it is a role of a retailer who sorts the product and give it to us. So retailer has other few major aspects also apart from sorting out things. So sorting of large quantities and sell it in small amount is what they're doing. So apart from that, they are one point of contact for you to contact your manufacturer or a wholesaler, or they serve as a bridge between customers and the other part. So they are the reason who predicts the sales. Like, see, it is a Diwali season, so this particular product will move faster, or I have so much of demand in my area, give me more. They tell it to the wholesaler, wholesaler tell it to the manufacturer, manufacturer sends out so much of product. So they forecast or they predict depending on the local area or the local people or the local trend. How do you buy it? There are still some places they who don't buy anything for festival. There are few festivals we don't get few things, we get only few things out of it. So if you go to a shop, you will see like the festive or seasonal products are there more, like it will be more than usual things that we are seeing. A special table would have been arose, something near the billing counter you will have. The moment you enter, you will see them. It will be decorated with lights, colors, papers, and all this. So it's all seasonal product, and these retailers are the one who tells what season, what product will move on. And they are the person who delivers it. Say you go to a shop and ask for a Colgate or a Pepsodent, there is no delivery, there is no product, and they are the one who is answerable for the delivery. They are the one who should take it forward to the manufacturer saying, hey, I ordered the stock on so and so date, I did not get the stock, my customers, they were not able to buy it from me. So these are the person who tells if there is a delay in the transition process or the channel of your distribution system. We'll see what is the channel. Complaints and feedbacks. If you have complaints and feedback, they are the person who is listening to it. Say you're buying a milk and the milk is spoiled, you don't go to Avin or Shakti and tell, hey manufacturer, this milk is spoiled. You go to a shop where you got, you go to the nearest booth where you got, you complain to them. Sometimes they give you something in return, say like replacement. Sometimes they don't tell, they'll tell like we have informed the manufacturer of about this. So they are the person who are in charge of this consumer complaint, feedback, and defective items. Inventory turnover, they are the one who knows what inventory should be done and sent to whom and all those. So apart from this, these retailers are the one who attract customers by giving free door deliveries, gift wrappers, installations that we do for our appliances. All these are from the retailers and not from the manufacturers. Yes, they do charge some things to the manufacturer, but all these members are from the local retailer or the local person who is giving it. And these people are in charge to have a convenient store or like a place where it is convenient for you to go purchase something, park your vehicle, move freely inside the stores and buy something. It is easy accessible. They do digital transactions, EMIs. So even when demonetization has happened, these retailers are the person who brought in digital payments. They were like, I'm accepting Paytm, Phone Pay, Google Pay. So they were ready to accept anything because they wanted to sell. So these retailers are the important people. Channel of distribution, how do we get a product? Are we getting directly or are we getting through different channels, or how is these channels designed and who is in charge? So level 0 is the very simplest form, direct sale from your manufacturer. End user stepping into the manufacturing unit or a direct outlet of your manufacturing area inside the premises and buying something. There is no distribution channel. Sometimes say my manufacturer is in Tirupur and I go to an outlet here here with the same name? No, that has one more distribution channel in between. I step into the manufacturer directly and I buy a process. There is zero contact between us or zero intermediate between us, so it is level 0. The level 1 has one middleman, the distribution agent, who distributes it between your manufacturer and you. So sometimes distribution agent can be a dedicated shop in different area, or it can be a wholesaler, or it can be a virtual store that you just go select, they send it to your house, you see some samples and they'll send the product directly from manufacturer. Like that, 2 level, they have 2 intermediators where you have wholesaler, retailer and all those. And 3 level, you have multiple agents, multiple wholesalers, multiple retailers. Through so many process, you will get the product. So this is the channel of distribution. In channel of distribution, again, logistics comes into play, but that is again a different department or a different discipline that we have. Logistics again plays a major role. Lean management plays a major role. Inventory comes into place here. Inventory management is there. Like so many different disciplines that we are learning are part of this system. So all together, we see it here. So now the types of retailing, how do we see the retailing store or experience it? Organized sector or less than 10% in Indian market. Indian market is full of unorganized sectors. So organized sectors can be independent retailer. It's an independent store. It is a local departmental store you have, or a local supermarket you have, or a local retail shop that you have. It's an independent store. They will not have any branches. It's only a local operation. They are independent sellers. Chain of stores, you have chain of stores in so much of your areas, so much cities or so much districts you have. So Tata Group, the west side is one of the best example of chain of stores. You have west side in Bangalore, you have west side in Hyderabad, Delhi, Coimbatore, Cochin. In every place you have this west side. So they are chain of stores. Chain of stores can be in an independent location or can be in mall. So the location is a different factor, but the type of retail is their chain. Franchisee, for example, McDonald's. McDonald's is not an Indian company or an Indian brand, but we have McDonald's in almost all the places, and it's all franchisee. The same brand you are using, the same formula you are using by a different person. So you need to give a franchisee fees here. There are like so many rules here, but still it is one type of or one mode of operation. Consumer Cooperative Society, for example, AVIN that we have. The cooperative society, again, AVIN, not the 100% of milk, not 100% are from AVIN. So they tend to manufacture 80 and they get it from the people or villages or cattle owners from their nearby or the tie-up people, and they sell it to us. It's all cooperative. They farm with people together as a society. They sell it to them. So Chintamani is one example. Khadi is one example. So there are consumer cooperatives that is existing in organized sector. So organized sector, all these 4 we have seen. Again, it is not restricted to 4, but these 4 are major ones. That can be a freestanding or an isolated store, meaning it can be in a different or a rural area. Say on the highway, you have some cloth center or a fashion center. On the way to Tirupur, you see like you will somewhere in the middle of your highway, you will see one apparel store. You will see they'll name it as factory outlet, something like that you will see. So that is like not completely within the city. They will be far from the city or in a rural place. They might have or might not have any competitors on that particular region. So there will be almost like a rural of that particular area. So they'll be leader of that particular place and they'll be selling it out. And rents will be usually low because on the highway it will be low, but advertising cost will be high. So if you see, like, they should have higher hoardings, they should brand you, tell you, and all those. And consumer might not prefer. Only when you're traveling, you go to that shops. You tend not to travel very long distance to buy something. On the other hand, part of a business district, it's within your city, primary, secondary, or your neighborhood places. The rent will be usually very high because of the competent you have. If you are not giving me 10,000, he's ready to give me 15,000. I'll give it for him, because like I have to check for parking, I have to check for water, electricity, the competition, how many people are getting benefited. So many things they'll calculate here. Accessibility by the mode of transport will be very high. Customers also very high. Shopping center, as you know, like in the malls, you have shopping centers. So organized sectors, usually these organized sector will be in these places. So these are the form of organized sectors that we have. You can relate with what all shops you have went through. Unorganized sectors, so these are the major part that we have in India, the retailers of unorganized sector. A street vendor who is selling it in your particular street, he might sell something today, seasonal something tomorrow. A mom and pop or in kirana stores, you go to a very small vendor of your area, you can see A to Z products hanging there, no proper things are not properly organized. It will not harms. They'll have from any A vendor to Z vendor. They'll have from everyone. So you go get a biscuit, you get a local biscuit there, you get a branded biscuit there, you get your favorite biscuits there. Anything and everything you get in all the brands, everything you get it there. Melas, peddlers and hawkers or weekly markets. So these are unorganized sectors that we have in India. So these were in existence for a very long time. So if you see retailing, it was direct, physical, or an offline store. So it was all direct. You physically feel it, you visit directly, and then you buy it. Other form of it or an enhanced version of it is your vending machines. Again, vending machines are physically available, but the thing is, like, it's a kind of a technology induced way of retail. We'll come to the virtual or an online part, which is trending now in the industry or sector. So online, it's a buzzword. Online internet evaluation has brought in so much, and this online is also a very crucial part it's playing in this industry also. So there are two different players in online. One is e-retailers or pure player e-retailers, brick and click e-retailers. So for example, Flipkart, they don't have a physical store. They are present only in online. They are pure online players. Whereas Ramraj Cotton, they sell it online. They have their own physical stores. They sell it with aggregators. They have tie-ups with other few small shops, direct stores. They even have vending machines. So they are brick and click. To cope up the market, they have a presence in over online. But on the other hand, Flipkart or even Amazon has a physical store, not in India, but we have it in other regions. So players like eBay, Jabang, they're all like only online. You cannot go see them physically somewhere and have. They'll have office somewhere, but it's an operational office, and they'll have an inventory store, everything they'll have. But you don't have a retail shop to go buy things and all those. So that will not be there. They'll be present only over online. But on the physical stores, Ramraj Cotton, you see it every nook and corner, everything will be there. So this is the basic difference you need to understand. So here comes one more thing called e-retailing and e-commerce. So we'll see what is e-retailing. Anyone can sell over online. Say a manufacturer directly can open a website, sell a product to you. A wholesaler can sell a product to you. A retailer can also have an online website, can sell a product to you. So they are e-retailing. One player can decide and can have a platform over online to sell the products, sell the goods, sell the services that they have. So this is e-retailing or tailing. So for example, like I will have online brochures, catalogs. You can just go visit the things there. If you like it, you can visit my shop and purchase it from me. Or you can order it from your home. I will get it delivered from my physical store. So this involves, or this from where it started with the advancement of your courier or postal services. People were able to transit things or move things from here and there. Again, globalization is also one factor. Imagine a Ramraj store is only in Coimbatore and they don't sell it online and they don't have presence anywhere. What will happen? They will not be able to retain or survive in the market. So to overcome that, since it is a global player, they want to sell it globally. They opened an online e-retailing firms. So these are the reasons that tempt an retailer or an wholesaler or a manufacturer to open something online. So this is online retailing. On the other hand, e-commerce, this is what we deal with our day-to-day life. More than one player or multiple players in one platform. For example, take Amazon or Flipkart. There are plenty of sellers in Amazon and Flipkart. Same product, different vendors you have. For example, you take a memory card that you want. Memory card will be sold by Cloudtail. It will be sold by some XYZ store. It will be sold by ABC store of Delhi. It will be stored by XYZ of Hyderabad, from someone from Bangalore, someone from Chennai. Multiple vendors or multiple people on only one platform. It's all hosted only in Amazon. You go to Amazon, they'll sell it there. Participants, I think someone is not on mute. Request you to go on mute, please. I'm getting a lot of echo on my side.
Point B or the circumference for one complete revolution of this take the curve, draw the tangent to the curve at a point on it.
Participants, request your cooperation, please. I'm getting a lot of echo here.
So we have a circle having that, this one, so and
okay, I'll start. There are 6 major types of e-commerce. So e-commerce, when you say the Amazon, Flipkart, eBay, Jabang, you see those e-commerce players, there are 6 different types. Business to a business, they sell it to anyone. So till now, whatever we have seen, the retailing part is only to consumers. Any ABC, only to consumer. End product will always be a consumer. But when it is an e-commerce, it can be anyone. It can be business in the end. It can be a consumer in the end. It can even be an administrator of XYZ in the end. So business to business. Tally, Microsoft, Amazon also sells you Tally software. A retailer can purchase from Amazon, install the Tally software in his own machine and manages inventory, manages ERP system. You can purchase a Microsoft Office from Amazon. You can do a business and sell it to your end customer. So there you can also be an end consumer. I am an end consumer. I want it from Amazon. I can also purchase on that mode. So this e-commerce is flexible for anyone. Business to consumer, for example, apparel, fashion. So no one buys a lipstick or an eyeliner from an Amazon. They get it. They again sell it to you from whatever they have got, because like they will not have any profit margin. So many things comes into factor play there. Consumer to consumer, refurbished products. So for example, you can see in recent times, it is very common in US, but in recent time or the trend, you can see it is getting emerged in India also. You can sell your second-hand things. For example, your OLX, even you can sell from consumer to consumer. My used mobile, I am done with this. I have to sell it to someone and get the money back. So OLX is a very good platform where I put my used product and someone buys from me. They are also an end consumer. I am also an end consumer. So consumer to consumer. Consumer to a business. So there is a site called Upwork. It's for freelancers, where you as an end consumer do some work for a business. Say for an example, I am a business owner, so I am a company. My customer is asking me to build a website. I don't have a resource. I post it on the website or my e-commerce site or an Upwork site. You, again, an end consumer who knows website, you build it for me, you sell it to me, I pay you for it. Again, I go to my customer and I sell it to you. So a consumer is helping a business here. So that is a freelance to an Upwork. Business to administration, we don't usually see in Indian market, but this is very common in US, UK. FindLaw. So if you go check what is FindLaw, one hub for all your court related or law or legal related documents. So it is an aggregator which picks or which collects from so many sources, and they maintain and they charge you for it. So consumer to administration, the distance educations or the aggregators, they help in distance education. So not every college will have the setup for online classes, online courses. So they'll have some tie-up with the aggregators who can do it from their end and give it to the college on the name of college. So these are some of the e-commerce. So a retail is to a consumer, end consumer. E-retailing is online form of your things. E-commerce is not only to your consumer, it can be anyone. So the evaluation had a very drastic change in recent trend now. What will be my future scope? So where am I leading to? This will be your future scope. This is from an Amazon. So this is an official Amazon Go. It is in US market now. What is happening? No lines, no checkout. This is one form of advanced retailing that they have brought in. So this is again a hybrid model of your online or EE thing along with your physical store. So they check how it is working. So they open an app. They have an app through which they scan, they move into the stores. They move into the store. The moment you move into the store, you can pick up anything or any product that you wish. The moment you pick, see what Amazon is doing. They are marking the things. You have taken one item. It is again kept down. You are taking it. It is calculated. So this is how it is working. You step in, you open the app, you step in, you purchase anything, just leave the shop. You need not stand in queue and pay. So this is a fusion of retailing that is existing, and this came into existence 4 years back, and it is very successful in US now. And how do you pay it? See the payment process here. Whatever you have taken, you got everything in the bill. When, how much, what is the quantity, everything is an automated pay, an automated system. So this is the growing form of your retail shops now. So this is how it is growing now. This is the latest thing of your retail. So there's one more example. I know like we are nearing, so I'll just quickly show you. I'm sorry. This is one from Walmart physical store. Okay, give me a minute. It's not allowing me to play. Okay, I'll share you the link. It's from an Amazon, Walmart physical store, where the robot by itself will say how much product is still in the shelf space. Should I pull it from the inventory and fill it here? what is the frequency of people taking a product from one particular shelf. Should I move the shelf up or below? So people who have studied marketing, you will know the importance of your shelf space, where it should be kept the peak shelf or the most taken shelf or most preferred shelf and least preferred. So everything it covers in that particular strategy is also one part of your strategy. They have introduced a system. It's completely online, AI, IoT. They have brought in everything together in a normal retail store. This Walmart, they have presence in e-commerce, they have presence in retail, e-retail. They are the Fortune first company of Fortune 500 list. Still, they are thinking what they need to do. So what is your role as a management student here? Learn and understand every discipline. Never ever think that I am okay with whatever I am learning, or finance is very good for me, or engineering is enough for me, or marketing is more than sufficient. I can survive in marketing. No, don't stop it there. If you're stopping, then you are one among the other marketing person in the market. What special thing you have? At least have some basic knowledge of all the disciplines that is available, at least within your campus. Your campus will have a minimum of 5 disciplines. Every college has a very good infrastructure for libraries, faculties. You have so many doctorates. You have, you can visit your faculties, get in touch with them, learn the basic concepts, understand the problem of a common statement. What is a common man's problem? So initially I had a problem with the purchasing. The purchasing power was very less. I didn't have money. Government introduced a public distribution system. And then people thought if I am giving a very good quality, people come to me. They opened a small store because I had a problem, because the quality I had a problem there, or the quantity was a problem, and people wanted to buy more. So they were ready to pay. I opened a shop. I understood the problem of my consumer. Hey, this is a very small shop. I don't get all my needs satisfied here. I want a big shop. I opened a departmental store. When the mobile and the internet and the laptops came in, the shop owners, they recognized that, hey, my next person should be on their house, on their hands, on their doorstep. So what I'm doing, I will give my online presence. They can check everything. They can buy from online, or they can order through phone, or even they can come to my store. Then the players, aggregate players like Amazon, Flipkart, they clubbed everything. They know where to source, who are all selling, what an end user needs. They aggregated. They are called aggregators. So OLX or your Ola, Uber, Zomato, Swiggy, they're all aggregators. Though they aggregated so many things and they started giving. But after this, what do you need? Now artificial intelligence is in place. These aggregators, Amazon is doing an immense thing in aggregating our artificial intelligence. As he said in the earlier, you go browse for something in Amazon. The moment you browse, they send the data to your Facebook, Instagram, everywhere you do, they pop up ads and they tend to buy you. So online is done. What should I do next? I go to my offline store, make it easier for the people to step in and do. On the fly, on the go, I go inside, I purchase something. I need not stand in the queue. I need not pay. Everything is online. I do completely, everything is taken care. Artificial intelligence reads what you're doing, what you're taking. So many things they have brought in. So understand the problem of a common man. Think out of box. Don't just think whatever you have in your textbooks. Try to involve the technology that is there. Even if you are not a champion of technology, get the help of engineer students, get the help of an arts student, get the help of other people. How to involve the technology here? Make a prototype. Forecast. It's very important. Just doing all these will never give you success. Predict and tell, hey, if you are using this particular model, it will be helpful on this ground. On 10th day of this, or when you say 1 year down the line, people will be on this track, it will be helpful. My prediction is is based on this particular XYZ. Give it to them. They will do their own prediction, analysis, forecast. Success is yours. It's question for you guys. What Indian market is expecting now? I'll tell you one major thing what every player is looking to convert the 90 percentage of unorganized sector to an organized sector. Walmart is still struggling to enter India because of very big players like Big Bazaar, Tata Groups, Reliance Groups. It is struggling a lot, but still they are trying to bring an organized sector in India. Like every player, they are trying to bring in their own method or fashion. What else Indian market is in need? So this question is open to you. You can take a call, you can review things, you can understand, discuss what do you need, then come up with your idea, come up with your model. You'll be successful. These are some of the references that I had. Hope I was on time. Thank you so much. I'm just stopping my screen sharing. We'll start the Q&A session. Okay, I think I do not have any questions as of now. Yeah, please go ahead with your questions. So people, you can unmute yourself and ask questions, or you can ping it on the chat window. We are ready to take questions. So whatever we have covered today is a high level of what is retail, what is an online presence, what is an e-commerce, and where are we heading to. It's a very high level. Yes, I've touched upon so many things, but I have no other option. Only if we are covering all these things, you will be able to understand the base concept. Come up with your ideas, get back to us with all your ideas. We can sit and brainstorm. We have so many faculties who can help you with your doubts, who can help you to build your project models, and you can be successful. Please shoot out your questions. We have very few minutes left. And I think, yes, sir, please.
Yeah, it was a really great presentation by you, and we got, the students especially, they got clear. I hope they have got the clear understanding about retailing, and e-commerce in specific, and the open scope we have still in this field. Like very few percentage only is taken. The rest are from unorganized and things like that. And even the career side, who wants to specialize into this sector, they have a high hope on that, and scope you have, so they can look into it. And that's what my little understanding from this session from you, on this. And it's a clear presentation. We are not sure any students are interested to ask any question, or just a clarification. What do you think about that upcoming, the possibilities for the students' career towards this retail or e-tails possibilities? You think?
Thank you so much, sir. So the current trend or current thing is like the technology getting infused with this e-tailing or e-commerce. So as of now, what the giant companies are trying is to understand or predict your pattern of purchase. Like when do you purchase what product? How many years once you change your mobile? How many years once or how many months once you buy some grocery items online? What do you buy say on Jan 1st? What do you buy on Jan 15th? What do you buy for this particular festive? Are you people who buy for discounts, or are you the one who buy when a product product is launched? So they are in process of analyzing the pattern or behavior of an end consumer. So that is again a very big open thing that is left for students, where they can predict with the data, and immense data is available online. They can start with that one, sir.
Great. Thank you for the response. And another area where the students can think about is, besides just selling and buying alone, you have the promotion aspects like Facebook today. You have Google Ads. You have analytics. You have a lot of things are coming up along with this detailing and retailing. That extended opportunities also the students are is there for the students. Maybe you could think about that. people who are attending today can think that area as well, that's purely is on retailing and detailing. It goes in the extended part of business as well. Everything is business today, That's what I understand it. So hope this good session you all had, all of you, and I would like to once again congratulate and thank the Veela and group's best hub, and as well as Madam Indu, the training head of Veela, for this opportunity and just collaboration with us. Thank you so much, Madam, to you and as well as your management.
Welcome, sir.
We would like to thank the presenter today, Mr. Gokul Rajagopal. You are an excellent. You did your best from beginning.
Valuable words, sir. Like, anyone has any questions, you can shoot it out.
I
You
don't know
have a
you all have
feedback,
heard or not, and thank you once again, Gokul. It was very much disturbed at the last moment, but anyway, always the good things will have some here and there, some disturbances. That's all right. But the benefit is so much which we have seen it, and thank you once again. VLAN from the best staff, the management, Indu Madam, and the presenter, Mr. Gokul Rajagopalan. And thank you so much. We will invite you to our campus sometime with Madam's support. And thank you so much, all of you. Kindly fill up the feedback form, the e-certificate, and all those things will be sorted out with Madam Indu, and we will come back further on that. Madam, it's over to you and Mr. Gokul now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. I request everyone to fill the feedback form, and if you require an e-certificate, kindly contact us and send an email to us. So we will be sending an e-certificate to your email ID. Once again, I would like to thank everyone for this wonderful session. Thank you so much, Mr. Gokul, for your session. It's really appreciable. Today I have learned a lot about retail management. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Request all to fill the feedback.
Yeah, you can also put your feedback in the chat forum as well as into the chat forum also. You
Yeah, I
can
have
mention.
given.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, very good. So they are all posting the message in the group, Mr. Gokul and Madam Indu. You can take note of that. The feedback is posted in the chat forum now. Yeah.
Yes, sir. We will be making a note.